tell you a little bit. It's on my mind, you know what I'm saying? Get my team together, get this money, you know what I'm saying? They say that you get out what you put in. If that's the case, then on the real, before it's done and said, then I should touch at least a meal. Papa used to tell me to survive, you need a skill. Maybe cop a big 3 slide.
You're now listening to Renaissance Soul.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Renaissance Soul Podcast. I'm your host, Kelly K. Fresh Frazier. And for this episode, we are joined by Detroit hip-hop artist T. Calmese, member of the creative counterculture collective, The Black Opera. And we're going to talk about his debut album, Time and Time Again. Formerly known as Illite of the Subterraneous Crew, led by OneBeLo, Detroit native MC T. Calmese has released several solo mixtapes, as well as collaborative albums with fellow Michigan MCs Octane, currently known as Rose Spit, and Vaughan T of the Athletic Mic League. After taking an extended break from making music, the feeling never fully left T. Calmese, and a few years ago he started to pick up the pen again in a journey that would lead us to Time and Time Again. Along with a track-by-track breakdown, Calmese shares with us why he took a break from writing, the joy of being just a fan of hip-hop, and what led him into making music that would result in finally making a proper debut solo album. So, after a short break from our sponsor, we'll get into talking about Time and Time Again with T. Calmese. Talking to Detroit rapper T. Calmese. I know him before as Illite, all the way back from the Subterraneous Crew days.
Yes, sir.
Days we used to have hip hop meeting at OneBeLo's apartment in Ypsilanti. Since then, he's been doing his thing. He's part of the collective, the Black Opera, and what we're gonna do today is talk about his official debut album. For you today, and it's called Time and Time Again. So how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Good to be here. Good to see you. You know what I'm saying? Good to be alive, bro.
Right, man. It's good that you're still making music, man. It's good, man. Like, I feel like a lot of people that we know, and it's not just a pandemic thing. It's been over the past few years. It's like they kind of got past the whole, hip hop scene, the whole like rap dreams thing to like, I'm just going to make music that I like, I'm just going to make art, and see what happens. And we've gotten so many good albums because of that, because they didn't have these other things in their minds,
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
You're a testament to this, that, that you're dropping this album now, and from what I was reading, you took your time with this, to make it. So first off, when's the last time you did any sort of a project?
My last project was A Wheel of Fortune, and that came out in 2011. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the last one. Yeah.
And since then, you've been doing Black Opera stuff, correct?
Yeah, I've been doing little features here and there, whatnot. So still staying busy somewhat, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
What have you been doing generally like during that time? What's your life been like since your last project?
Basically just regular everyday man shit. You know what I'm saying? Just going to work and paying bills and just trying to stay busy. That just being an adult, you know what I'm saying? Just going to work, paying bills. I did stop doing music for a brief period of time, but it seems like one thing I've learned everybody, anybody who says they're gonna quit or whatever, it never actually leaves you. It almost gets worse when you say that.
You get that itch, you get that itch sometimes. You're like,
you get the itch. So once you start in real reality, you never actually stop. It's just, what I'm saying, priorities may change and things like that, but you're always gonna, if you're a creator, you're gonna create. So me, I just been basically just doing that, man, like working and trying to get better at my craft, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Writing and recording and all that still. Just trying to get sharper. Just get sharp, stay sharp and get sharper. That's it.
What was the sort of the thing that, caused you to just, quit making music for a while? Was there anything that really motivated that?
For me, I had to revert and refocus on basically why I started in the first place. Like after a while, my focus started changing, and it politics of the industry, the scene, and all that. It just, for me, it started to be a little too much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking about everything else but what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? And when it stopped being fun for me, when it's not fun, I'm not messing with it. That's music. That's women. That's anything. When it stopped being fun for me, I'm not messing with it. So I had to take some time and chill out and refocus. You know what I'm saying? Because it never leaves you.
Right.
It never leaves you. The love for it is always going to be there. So I just had to kind of like chill out, refocus, recharge my batteries, like go back to why I initially started doing this and just hone in on that, man. And that's it.
What did you learn during that time, and what got you back into making music?
What I learned during that time, the main thing I learned was patience. You know what I'm saying? That's always been one of my things in life. You can ask my mom. She said all the time, like, Teron, you just so impatient and this and that. Like I have a past of being a very impatient guy. So within that time, the main thing I learned was patience. And I guess what I learned was to let things happen naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like if something is meant for you and you're pushing towards a goal or whatever, just do the work and take the baby steps, and you know what I'm saying, have faith in whatever you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Stuff gonna work out, and that's it, man. That's really what I did. Simple.
What was the first things that you did when you first started, like, putting the pen on the paper again? What got you back into it?
What got me back into it, I mean, I got to give it up to the Black Opera. You know what I'm saying? Being with those guys, Jess and Buff, seeing what they've been doing this whole time, you know what I'm saying? It's always been inspired. Even when I wasn't making music, I was listening, you know what I'm saying? And that was the magic part in it too. Like not making music for a minute actually reverted me. I'm always a fan, but I got to like really listen to cats, like,
yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Unobjectively, and, just listening to any and everything and just being blown away, honestly, like, dang, like, my people dope, you know what I'm saying? And people from Detroit and just all that. So I think the Black Opera is really what got me really, really back into it and really moving the pen again. They just inspired me. They was, T, hop on this, this, and that. And, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
I could just see it now that those guys would be like, yo, you want to be on this, yo? Like, when we gonna hear some raps for you, man? Yo.
Yeah. They working with, they got some shit. So it's hard to turn it down. I hear this beat. I hear what Buff doing. I hear what Jess doing. I'm like, man, okay, I gotta get a piece of this, dog. So it was a real natural process. And then through the years, man, it's just like playing basketball or any other sport. you got to get your rhythm back. You know what I'm saying? Even Michael Jordan, after he retired, he ain't come back just putting up 60 points his first game. You know what I'm saying? He had to get back into the flow of things and, you know what I'm saying, make it happen like that. So I went through all that.
When did you start writing material for Time and Time Again?
For Time and Time Again, maybe about three or 4 years ago. That's when I started writing for it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even know the title of it. Really, we knew the theme was going to be time. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, tying in with the whole Black Opera thing, Buff dropped an album called Time in Between Thoughts. Majestic Legend dropped an album called All Is Time. And we wanted to keep the time thing going. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't know the actual title, but we didn't know the time was going to be a theme. So maybe about 3-4 years ago, that's when I started writing for it. Yeah.
You know, when did you make the decision that this was going to be an album and not like a mixtape or anything like that?
Shoot. I knew it going in. It was going to be an album, but I didn't know how crazy it was going to get. It took some time. Like once I started hearing, you know, not to sound crazy, but once I started hearing what I was doing and what was coming out, you know what I'm saying? I was like, this is something to be this gonna be an album. This is the first time sonically I've accomplished exactly what I set out for.
And talk more about what you set out to do. Like, there's this theme of the future that's going on where you get this message about, you know, recording what you're going to do right now for this future. You know, kind of talk about that idea.
Yeah, that was so basically it was my past self got in contact with my present self and told my present self that I need to record my story, you know what I'm saying, you know, advice and things like that to give it to my future self. So my future self can, you know what I'm saying, have knowledge of, you know, where he came from. You know what I'm saying? It was real dope. We actually had all the songs basically done at that moment, and we was trying to figure out how to tie everything together. You know what I'm saying? How to really pretty much put the bow on top of the present. You know what I'm saying? How we gonna tie everything together. And we came with that. You know, we was watching a bunch of movies. I mean, pandemic time, you know, you ain't got nothing else to do but watch movies and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it was definitely inspired by a lot of the stuff we was all watching and seeing on the TV or whatever. You know, all big fan of comic books, big fan of sci-fi, big fan of thrillers. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like it'd be dope to incorporate that element into the actual music. Yeah.
On one of the first skits on this album, when you're getting that message, it also talks about, you know, maintaining like a high energy. How are you able to like keep that you know, high energy when you're sort of like making all these songs beforehand, you know, and like, you know, what was sort of that process in making sure that, you know, your energy was high on all your songs, and you know, and to be honest, if like maybe you could do something better, or, you know, put a little bit more energy into something.
So first of all, doing that part of it was awkward. You know what I'm saying? It was awkward as hell because I'm in the studio and you know, it was different for me. I'm used to being in the studio with music, you know what I'm saying, beats, you know what I'm saying, and this and that. And now I'm in the studio with absolutely nothing going on, and it's me talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of trippy, dog. It was trippy, but you know, as far as maintaining the energy, I did all those songs. Every song on the album was a different moment in time for me. So it wasn't hard to maintain anything because whatever came out that day was genuine and true to whatever it was that day. You know what I'm saying? Each song was a different moment in time. I didn't do all those songs in like one watt. You know what I'm saying? It was all different moments in time. So the energy was what it was, you know, during those times. So it was easy, man. Other than the awkwardness of getting used to hearing myself without any music behind me, you know what I'm saying? It was you know, it was dope though. And it gave me confidence too. I'm like, okay, I'm listening to myself without music and saying something. Shoot, I might be able to do what K Fresh do. I might could do a podcast or you know what I'm saying?
Or you can you know, be a voice actor or something, you know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's whatever. You know, it opened up another side of myself I wasn't used to, man. So it was dope. It was dope.
These songs for this album, you know, how do you feel like just the process or whatever you wrote about or anything is different than anything you've done in the past?
Because I lived a lot of life in between this project and my last project. I can say that for sure. That's the main difference. Like before, when I was doing projects before, it was kind of more back to back-ish. It was kind of more, you know what I'm saying, it was more bravado. It was more, you know, I'm this, I'm that, you know what I'm saying, rapper-esque stuff, you know what I'm saying, versus now. And I really didn't care about a lot of that shit. I really didn't care about being the best rapper. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't care about being the king of Detroit or the king of the hip-hop this and that. I didn't care about none of that. I just cared about telling my truth. And, you know, in my mind, I feel I'm dope. I feel like I'm just as dope as whoever else. But I didn't care about that per se. I just wanted to say what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? And that was it.
Did it make the songwriting process, you know, a bit easier? Was there a freedom that you felt?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's something I took, and I'll be taking that, you know, going forward. Just not overthinking, man. Because, like, there's a lot of people that I feel like overthink way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember you brought up Lo earlier in the interview. One of the things Lo told me young that always stuck to me, he was like, when you're dope, you don't have to try and be dope. He was like, if you're dope, you're just dope. So whatever you do is gonna be dope. So
right,
just be you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel, you know, I got confidence in my listeners and listeners, period. But people can feel when you're forcing something, man. People can feel when you're trying too hard, when you're, you know what I'm saying, when you're trying to be, you know, when you're trying to do too much. It's like, dog, just be who you are. And I feel like people gravitate towards that, man. Yep.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's actually get into the album itself and just kind of do a track-by-track breakdown.
Okay.
So, you know, talk about, you know, anything in regards to these songs, you know, the story behind them, you know, working with the producer or whatnot. Just anything that, you know, comes to mind about it.
Okay.
The first joint on the album is Almighty. Is produced by Jay Burrow.
Yeah, Jay Burrow, Almighty. That joint right there. I remember when he sent me that beat. I got that beat and went crazy. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say behind most of these joints. But when I got that beat, I went crazy and I sat on it for a while when I had it because I wanted to really hear what it was saying to me. You know what I'm saying? And basically, Almighty is a conversation with me and God, man. Me having an unfiltered conversation because a lot of people, not to get too deep, but a lot of people feel like when they talk to God, they got to be extremely proper and this, and that. And all that may be true. But one of the ways I found most comfortable with me is to just talk to him like I'm talking to you or like I'm talking to one of my homeboys or, you know, whatever, respectfully, of course, but just to talk to him in that way. So that's basically the whole thing behind Almighty.
How did it feel like making that joint like in that way?
Free. It felt good. it like once again going back to the overthinking thing. I'm so comfortable not overthinking anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm so comfortable. It's just free, man. Like I just really say what's on my mind, and making that one, especially talking to God or whatever. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know if you're a religious guy or not, but sometimes when you pray and after you get through that prayer, you know, you feel a little bit of relief or whatever behind it, and that's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? When I got done with that, I definitely felt some relief. And it was just an honest conversation, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
The next joint is Play On Player, produced by 14KT.
Yes, sir, the homie. Play on player is actually one of the older joints on there. Play on player is probably about 10 years old, to be honest. Yeah, Play on player is about 10 years old, and I remember KT. Well, I heard that beat on a KT. I believe it was the Killer Tech or whatever, and I heard it, and I didn't care if it was out. I was playing it, and some bars started coming to me for it, and I was like, dog, I know you just put this out on the beat tape or whatever, but can I use it? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, it's whatever, dog. Like, if you're inspired by it, go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? And Play on player is just beats and rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Beats and rhymes. Yeah, that was it. Feel good, hook up, just real straight to the point. Beats and rhymes.
Word.
Yeah.
The next song is The Mac, produced by Jay Burrow.
Yep. The Mac, when he sent me that, the beat automatically took me back to the 70s. When I heard it, I was like, I just saw afros, bell bottoms. I saw afros, bell bottoms, jive 70s slang. And I was like, yeah, this the Mac. And I just wanted to spit some shit from that vein on it. It was real simple. It just gave me that whole retro vibe. So that was a real fun one to do right there too. Yeah.
The next joint is 15 Minutes of Shame, produced by Jay Business.
Yep. Shout out my boy Jay Business. West Coast own. I believe he's in Atlanta or something right now. But yep. I believe Jess gave me that beat from Jay Burrow, and that was another one of those moments, man. I heard the beat, went crazy. Came with a verse. Just heard it. He was like, hold up. Because I got a lot of one verses. I'm good. I get tired of beats real quick, man. And I'll drop a verse on something and forget about it and not come back to it ever again. But just heard the verse I had on there, and he was like, hold up, dog. This, you might be onto something. So he recorded a hook over it. You know what I'm saying? The 15 Minutes of Shame hook. I was like, that's too fly right there. And it just inspired me to finish the song. Beats and rhymes. Yep.
The next joint is another Jay Business produced joint is Timing is Money.
Timing is money. Beats and rhymes, dog. More beats and rhymes. That joint came in the same manner as the last one. High energy joint. Really made me want to. Couldn't wait. You know, at the time when I did it, I couldn't wait to perform it. It was one of those joints I feel like I was ready to rock at a show. You know what I'm saying? But obviously I didn't know a pandemic was on its way.
Right.
At that time. So I still got those dreams, you know what I'm saying? But beats and rhymes, man. Buff came through, threw some ad libs on it. We was clowning, drinking, having a ball, doing it, beats and rhymes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The next joint on here is Who is the One, produced by Slot A.
Who's the One? That was one of the ones that definitely took me out of my comfort zone. And I loved it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a 1-2 kind of beat. It's more like off, different. You know what I'm saying? Like when me and Jess were talking about it, he was like, man, just think Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? He was like, think Slick Rick. I want to hear you tell almost your version of maybe a children's story or something. He was like, just think Slick Rick on that joint. So that one was real special. You know, I definitely tried some new stuff on there as far as the flow goes, the pattern wise and all that stuff. I really couldn't wait for people to hear that one, because I don't feel like in any projects I've done in the past I've ever released anything that sounded like that sonically. So I was real proud of that when it came out.
Yeah, how did it feel to sort of like do something different like that, to kind of take that leap to do a different sounding song?
Man, it was amazing. It was a little bit of slight nervousness there, because I never put anything out. People don't know me for doing anything like that, but in all honesty, I was like, man, it's been 9 years since the last time I put anything out. Who fucking cares? And
right.
You're a new artist anyway, so like, man, just do what you're here to do. You know, show people what you can do, bro. Quit trying to overthink once again. So I just got past that and just had fun. You know what I'm saying? So that was a real fun joint to do. Yeah.
The next joint is another one produced by Slot A. It's called Bakery.
Bakery, another fun one. Buff actually got that beat to me through Slot A, and that was fun, man. It's always fun talking about women, bro. There's so many ways to talk about them, man. Especially talking about the ones with ass. You know,
right.
We love ass. We love, you know what I'm saying. We love that. So that was a fun one to do. When I heard the beat, it definitely gave me like it gave me a tribe vibe. You know what I'm saying. So I wanted to do something kind of lighthearted on it, but you know, still talking about something. But that was easy. That was easy. It was fun too.
The next joint is another Slot A produced joint. It's called Everyday, featuring Majestic Legend.
Yep, Everyday was dope. Everyday was refreshing to do. That was just talking about a normal day in the life. You know what I'm saying? That one talks most specifically about what we were saying earlier about what I was doing within, you know, in my downtime and the time off. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about the everyday working man. It's a real nod to mental health as well. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wanted to talk about mental health and especially in the Black community, because it's so, well, it used to be pretty taboo to talk about that, but now it's starting to be, you know, cooler or whatever. The floor is open, and I feel like it's dope that we're having those conversations now about that specifically. So that's basically what Everyday was. Yep.
How do you personally sort of check in with your own mental health, you know, especially these days and during the time that you are like having this downtime? You know, what is sort of your, you know, go-to, and then how do you sort of facilitate that to others?
My main ritual, what I do to keep my mind together, is I drive to nowhere a lot. You know what I'm saying? I ride, I listen to music, you know what I'm saying? People watch, soak up the environment. I'm on the west, east of Detroit and all in the suburbs, and I'm just everywhere all the time. So that's kind of my little thing to keep my mind together, get out, you know what I'm saying? Maybe walk around a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But the best way I can, with others, the best way that I can help with that is just be a listening ear, bro. Like I got homies, you know what I'm saying? We all been having issues, you know what I'm saying? And we just talk it out. And sometimes the best thing I can do is just be a listening ear. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The next song is Every Night, featuring DJ Josh 1, and it was produced by Majestic Legend.
Yes, sir. Just sent me that beat. went crazy. I sat on that for a minute, and one day it just hit me, and it literally happened like the title says, every night. And one night I got off from work. I was on Instagram, and being on Instagram, I don't know if you do it, but shit, I have a problem. I got a low-key problem with Instagram. Like, I follow a lot of asses, bro, and look at a lot of women. And you know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man. Sometimes I gotta like go back and unfollow a bunch of people because I'm like, all right, this is getting a little too jammed up here, man. I need a little bit less, but variety. You can still keep the variety, but like it doesn't need to be congested with ass.
Yes, dog. So I was doing that and a bunch of other stuff, and I literally wrote that rap that night. You know what I'm saying? Doing that, basically, checking myself pretty much.
I think a lot of people fall into that.
Man, it's easy. They make it so easy. It's so easy, but it's a trip.
So easy. The next joint is Young Man 96, featuring 87, Al Renee, and produced by Jay Burrow.
Yep, that's an older joint. Between that one and Play on Player, those are probably the two oldest songs on the album. I did that one probably about 10 years ago. So we was Kick Sounds, shout out Kick Sounds. We was in the lab off the Boulevard. And that's one of those joints that just 80 was there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Me and 80 and Fest got so much material. You know what I'm saying? That never really saw the light of day yet. You know what I'm saying? But in that time, that's around the time we did Young Man. Real dope joint. One of my favorites, El Renee, she was there and she blessed it. She's one of the coldest to me, one of my personal favorite singers from out of here. And she laced me, man. And I was proud of that one. I've been sitting on that one for a minute. Couldn't wait for people to hear that. So, yeah.
Nice. The next joint is Make Me Believe It, featuring Slide A and Mina.
Yeah, Mina.
Oh, yep. Mina. All right, Mina. And it's produced by Slide A.
Yep. That was another crazy one. Shout out Slide A. I heard that one, and automatically, another one that inspired talk about the people of the opposite sex, and just had to dig deep for that one. That was a day when I was going through, a few things, and just wanted to air it out on the track. Real good song, man. Shout out Mina. She came through and put the sauce on top of it, and that was fun. Yeah.
The next joint is Trust Issues, produced by Jay Burrow.
Yep, Trust Issues. That was another wild day. Definitely didn't care about being dope on the raps. Definitely didn't care about a lot of shit when I did that, and just wanted to air out what was on my brain at the time, which was past issues of dealing with women and the shit the interactions we have as men with women some days, so yeah.
There's been a theme through a few of the songs about, dealing with women and relationships. Did you learn anything about yourself with writing these raps? Anything that you look back and you're like, oh, I wish I did did it differently, or I was really shitty, or what'd you learn? What did you kind of learn through making these types of songs?
Making those kind of songs, man, I learned, and that's the whole thing with Trust Issues. Like, I learned you can't control what people do. You know what I'm saying? You can't control how they react to you know what I'm saying? Or what you feel might be wrong or whatever. Like, ultimately, the only thing you can control is what you do and how you react. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing that I learned. As far as anything I would do differently, I'm owning up to all my shit. I I ain't got no regrets, bro. I hold my shit both feet on the ground. It is what it is. I ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying? But who is? Shit, you know what I'm saying? So I own it all, bro. I own it all.
Right. The next joint is Mercy, produced by Three Steez.
Ooh, classic Trey Styles, man. Shout out Athletic Mike Lee. I heard that beat and went nuts. Soon as I heard that one, and yeah, I remember doing that one. You know, I don't brag. You know, it's no one way I do my shit, but I heard that beat and did it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't premeditate that one or nothing. I just heard that one and pretty much did it. And that's, I mean, all these songs are my babies, of course, but that one was real special to me. You know what I'm saying? Doing that, because with the choir in the background, you know, I'm a sucker for choir beats. I'm a sucker for anything, you know what I'm saying, with all that. And when I hear choir, it automatically takes me back to the church, takes me back to coming up, takes me back to my grandmother, my grandfather, all that. So it all holds a special place. So when I hear those kind of things, it takes me there. So that's, yeah, Mercy was a real special one for me. So proud of that one, bro. Proud of that one.
The next joint is No Return, you know, featuring the Black Opera. It's produced by Majestic Legend and J Business.
Yeah. That was one of the last ones that, it might have been the last one, actually, that we included on the album. Both incredible to me, Majestic Legend and J Burrow on the beats. I mean, J Business on the beats. And that's just me and the Black Opera. Beats and rhymes, you know what I'm saying? Beats and rhymes. And yeah, that's the best way I could put that. We just got on it and got busy. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't wait to thought about that one too. Like, yeah, I can't wait to perform this one. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, COVID-19 had different a different future.
Right.
And start. But, you know, it's not over with. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully all this shit.
And the last, the bonus cut on the record is Interstellar, produced by Jay Burrow.
Yep, that's another favorite. Shout out Jay Burrow on that one. But Interstellar was that was when I wrote that, I had a few people in mind. You know what I'm saying? I try to be a writer for myself, obviously, but I'm trying to be, I'm a writer for others too, who don't necessarily know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely people I've came in contact with over time and kept that one in mind. You know what I'm saying? That's a personal favorite for me. You know what I'm saying? Just to do some story type of shit with some theatrical epicness in back of me. Shout out Jay Burrow once again for that. And you know, that was definitely a personal favorite of mine. Yeah.
You know, when it was time to put together the album, you know, what sort of thinking what came into, you know, sequencing it, you know, putting it all together?
Yep. We wanted to, I mean, we know obviously we're in an age where I feel like people have very short attention spans. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely wanted to make sure we grab their attention instantly. Even if they don't get through all 14 songs, 15 if you include the bonus tracks, I wanted to make sure when they pressed number one, they was like, what the fuck was this? You know what I'm saying? And we tried to keep that energy. We kept that energy up throughout, you know what I'm saying? Even on the personal songs, I tried to make sure I kept it upbeat. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure I didn't be boring. You know what I'm saying? Because people can get personal and it can be boring. It can be fucking depressing. It can be, you know, all that shit. And I wasn't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to sequencing, we definitely kept that in mind and wanted to keep it high energy, you know, throughout. And even in the lower energy, because there's no low energy on them, but even in the lower energy parts, there's still some excitement. You know what I'm saying? There's still some excitement in there, for sure.
You know, when you finally get everything done, and this is an album, you have it sequenced and everything, you know, what was your thoughts, your feelings about the finished product?
first of all, it was a big sigh of relief. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Because one, I mean, I told you, Kay. I mean, but it was a process. It was a process, you know what I'm saying? So number one, completion was just like, yes. You know what I'm saying? It's done, it's done, it's done. But adding the interludes in there and all that, I was blown away. I was blown away, man. And that's where the patience lesson came in. Because had I rushed or had we rushed, we wouldn't have got a lot of those results as far as, you know what I'm saying, the interludes and the music and the sequencing and all that. So sometimes one of the lessons I learned was to like be patient with my art and give it time to breathe and let shit come to fruition the best way it can. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to rush all the time. You know what I'm saying? Respect your art and give it time to flourish. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a big lesson there.
How do you fight your impatience?
Oh my goodness, bro. Working out and once again more driving probably and running and you know what I'm saying? All that cause my impatience, especially I'm in life, I'm becoming more and more patient. You know what I'm saying? And music, my biggest thing was with music because I drop some shit and feel like it's time for it to come out an hour later. You know what I'm saying? I'd be so fucking excited about, you know, creating something new. I'll be wanting everybody to hear it right then and there. And sometimes that's cool. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's not because you're not giving it the time that it needs to, you know, make it presentable for the public, make it presentable for consumption. You know what I'm saying, and all that. So the best way I fight my impatience, man, working out, driving, walking, and some liquor. Time, yeah.
On the flip side, though, how do you know when the time is? You know, how do you know that, you know, not to be too patient?
Right. For me, well, with this album, because I really don't have a specific answer for that one, because I'm still learning that. But with this album, we just knew because we had worked on it for so long, man. We had worked on it for so long, and we were listening to the songs that we had selected for it, and it was touching all bases, all areas of it. We didn't feel like we were missing anything, or it was something like left hollow that we still needed to touch on. So, when we listened back, it was just like, yeah, we covered all our bases. So it's probably that turn. You know what I'm saying? So that was it.
Right. Yeah, because a big problem that, you know, Detroit hip hop and I'm sure other cities had too is that you have a lot of rappers will record full ass albums and not even drop them, you know, or like I'm just trying to get it right, you know, and whatever, and then it just passes them by or something, you know. Yeah. And I think that's I think that a lot of people did learn, you know, in time is to be like, all right, there's a difference between being patient and impatient, but there could be too much of that and too much of that, you know.
Yeah, you got to be able to walk that. You got to be able to walk that fine line for sure. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to walk that fine line. I mean, 48 laws of power. It say absence. Something about absence makes the heart grow fonder. That saying makes. But the flip side of that is absence can make you forget who the fuck you thinking about in the first place. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it is a fine line that you have to walk. And I've learned that, and I'm still learning that going forward. You know what I'm saying? It's an ongoing process, bro. I'm still learning, but I have a very good, very, very fucking good grasp on what I need to be doing right now. So that's it.
Let's talk about the album artwork. You know, who did the album artwork, and what was sort of like the idea behind it?
Shout out Andy Hero, man. Shout out for Pete's sake. Shout out, you know, that's who did the album artwork, and basically on the cover it's just elements of past, present, and future. You know what I'm saying? That's the theme that we had going throughout the album. So the sky shot, Detroit City, that's the city that represents the present. You know what I'm saying? The pyramids off to the side, that represents the past. You know what I'm saying? Ancestral, the past. And, you know, the little spaceship hovering up there, that's a symbol of the future. So real simple. And it's a nod to the Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying, movement with the time and time again written on the street. You know what I'm saying? I love that. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the artwork.
You know, while this album has been years in the making, you finished it up during this global pandemic that we're having in 2020, 2021. And how do you feel like everything that you talked about, the themes, the stories of this album, relate to what's going on now? But because also, like you even mentioned, during a pandemic, we're going through another civil rights movement with the Black Lives Matter movement, and now we're switching presidents now, and there's a lot of things going on besides this pandemic, and all those things are kind of woven together. Like, how do you feel like everything that you were talking about fits into what's going on now?
I feel like it fits perfectly. And I'm saying that. Yeah, I'm definitely, everything fits perfectly. Specifically, and I played it for a few of my peoples before it came out, but Mercy on the album, I wrote that song a couple years ago, you know what I'm saying? And fortunately and unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, it's still relevant, and it's very relevant to what's going on right now. I mean, I hope, you know what I'm saying, civil war and all that, I hope we don't go in that direction, but obviously people want to go in that direction. People are going crazy right now. It's a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? A lot of crazy, on top of it being a fucking virus that's killing people off, floating around out here right now. We got a president that's going crazy. We got the changing of power going on, you know what I'm saying? We got, you know, a lot of injustices being brought to the forefront, which rightfully so, it should be. But yeah, I feel, going back to what you were saying, I feel like everything I'm talking about on this album is very relatable and fits perfectly to what's going on right now. I do.
How important was it to have a mixture on this album of like you'd say, beats and rhymes, but then you have other songs that you're actually like going deep on things, how important was it to have that sort of balance?
For me, it was very important. It was very, very important, because I don't like listening to albums about the same shit. I don't like to hear an entire album of somebody rapping about rapping. I don't like to hear entire albums of people talking about depressing ass shit. I like variety. I like to go on the roller coaster, me personally. You know what I'm saying? And the only way, the reason why we captured all of that is we just gave it time, you know what I'm saying? Because over the course of a few years, you go through a lot of emotions and a lot of ways that you feel, you know what I'm saying? So on the day I did one of those beats and rhymes joints, like 15 Minutes of Shame or Time and His Money or something, I probably did a couple other, like four more of those same songs that day or something, or within that time. But it's because we gave it the time to be what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? We were able to capture other moments other than that. Because for me, that's very important, bro. Like, talk about some shit. I don't want to hear the same thing for an entire album. It gets boring after a while for me.
Right. Like, how many ways can you say the same thing over and over
How
again?
many ways can you say the same shit over and over? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
To kind of close things out, with sort of like some final thoughts from you, like, what do you hope your listeners get out of, listening to this album?
I hope that they get a good view of what I am, what I'm about, what I stand for, what I was, what I hope to be, what I am. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, and without even thinking too deep about it, at the same time, just get some dope music that you want to add to your catalog, that you want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? That you want to ride around with. You know what I'm saying? That you want to sit and deep listen with, or put it on when you cooking some chicken. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want some people to get some stuff that they'll be able to live with for years to come. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal wish for this project. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. It's been
Yeah.
good talking with you. And before we get out of here, where can people go online to get more information about the album and more information about you?
You can go to www.theblackopera.com. Everything's for you right there. You know what I'm saying? We got music, my project, other projects from Buff One, Majestic Legend. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies. You know what I'm saying? We got everything you need. Theblackopera.com. One-stop shop. Holla at your boy.
Thank you for listening to the Renaissance Soul podcast, hosted and produced by myself, Kelly K. Fresh Frazier, empowered by Anchor at anchor.fm/Renaissance Soul. Renaissance Soul theme music provided by Steve O. You can find more of his productions at iamsteveo.bandcamp.com, and that's EYEAMSTEVEO.bandcamp.com. Renaissance Soul is available on all streaming platforms. Please rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. If you want to support Renaissance Soul, please consider pledging via Patreon at patreon.com/freshastheword. Follow Renaissance Soul on social media, on Instagram at RenSoul Podcast and on Twitter at RenSoulPod. And join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/freshastheword. And for more information on Renaissance Soul, visit freshasthepodcast.com. Thank you for listening and your support. Goodbye and good night.
Renaissance Soul.